all doing this evening? Welcome to another evening of thought-provoking topics and issues pertaining to this world and the outer realm. That evening with Remy Centauri. I'm your host this evening, Remy Centauri. Talking to you from atop of my makeshift hilltop home studio, and the only vlog broadcast recognized by the North American and Western European Brewers Council, who vehemently urge you for you all not to be stupid and purchase Mexican beer. If you're going to be purchasing any kind of alcoholic products, beer in this case, purchase domestic and Western European beer. Don't purchase any of the cheap Mexican beer. And that is a message from the North American and Western European Beer Brewers Council, who want me to relay to you. Well, driving in today, or this evening, into the Hilltop Studios, I was listening to some San Francisco's favorite band. And no, we're not talking about Santana. No, we are talking about none other than Journey. Listening to some "Send Her My Love." It's a pretty cool tune. I was listening to it driving in this evening. The waters from the incoming waves just felt really nice this evening, and listening to the soulful guitar playing music of Mr. Neil Sean, followed by Steve Perry on the vocals. Jonathan Cain, Ross Valerie, and Steve Smith, all of course, who are now members of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And, I hope to be able to see Steve Perry and Neil Sean one more time. Just to see if, I don't know if Steve still has the pipes, but something tells me he could probably sing a few songs before his, before his voice starts cracking, I would imagine. But still, I'd like to see Steve and Neil together again on stage and performing. And the way they used to do it back in the during the 80s. And that's when music was music, not the stuff that we listen to nowadays. But real good music, great guitar work, love ballads, that kind of thing. So when I was outside looking at the calm waters here in my part of the world, the Yukon Territory, I was sitting out there, and of course I had my old stogie with me, and just being able to take the breeze in, and it's just so meditating, just be able to look into forever with these waters here. But it's really nice. It was very relaxing. And of course, this evening I am accompanied by my two friends. On the left-hand side of me is some 15-year-old Scotch, single malt Scotch Macallan, and it keeps me going. And on the right-hand side, another acid cigar, intoxicating fumes that I love so much and puts me at ease. All right. Well, in the news, before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to friends of mine at the Toasted Frog Restaurant at 124 North Street in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Their sandwiches, which is the wood-fired open-faced caprese melt, or the wood-fired open-faced pheasant melt, or the wood-fired open-faced prime rib melt. Now, I've had all three, and they're all great. And they also have the pizzas, which are the spinach and wild mushroom pizza, or the Roma Dakota pizza. And I've been there several times, and I've had those pizzas, and I've had those sandwiches, and they're all great. The people are great, the atmosphere, just a great place to go, unwind, and they'll treat you good. So that's a Toasted Frog Restaurant at 124th North 3rd Street in Grand Forks, North Dakota. All right. In the news, or as some people would say, call it fake news, There's a lot of hoopla going on with the new Supreme Court nominee. Never heard of him, Brett Kavanaugh. But then again, I guess judges aren't really, you know, unless you're the Supreme Court or some of those judges that come on TV. We're not very well known, but apparently he is a conservative pick for the president that we have now. So we'll just have to see, how many more presidents he's gonna. How many more Supreme Court justices he's gonna be putting on there. But I know one that's not gonna go for sure, and that's Ruth Ginsburg. Ruth Ginsburg, who was born on March 15th, 1933. She was appointed by Clinton on August 5th of 1993. Have you seen Ruth Ginsburg? I mean, sometimes I wonder if this woman is asleep, or she's even moving, because she's holding on for dear life. Something tells me that if Hillary would have become president, she probably would have retired, and they would have put in some liberal judge on the court. But something tells me Ruth Ginsburg, she's gonna stay till there's another a liberal president. I'm sure she's hoping that Trump doesn't get reelected, because that means she'd have to stay on there, as it is right now, 2 years, because that's when the election starts up again. But if he becomes reelected, that's another 6 years. And she's in her 80s. She's 85 years old. So, what she's going to be, she's going to be in the, if she has to wait around another term, she's going to be 90 by the time she, if Trump gets elected again, and for another, she's probably hoping, another liberal president comes around, because, man, this woman, I don't know if she can hold up very much longer. Someone tells me when she leaves the Supreme Court offices, she probably goes directly to the hospital and sleeps there. She wants to make sure she doesn't die of a heart attack, and if she does, they can revive her, because she does not want another conservative judge being placed on there. So she's the next to go. She really is. She should be, because she's the oldest one there, I think. But I know a judge they won't be considering to take the place of any Supreme Court judge, and that's going to be the ridiculous Judge Judy Shanglin. You know her as Judge Judy, the ridiculous judge, and she's 76 years old. 76 years old. Now, we really can't take her, seriously. I know that Judge Wapner, if you remember him from the People's Court, the original judge, before all these ridiculous judges started coming on, he seemed to be very mild-mannered. He listened, to the complainants, people complaining, and he was able to. He was very pleasant to watch. He seemed to be, you come with your story, he'll listen to you, and he would make his judgment, that kind of thing. This fool here, Judge Judy, he was, he was someone who didn't like her, Judge Wapner. He believed that judges really don't, they don't behave that way. She brought shame to the court, that kind of thing, and he didn't like her. He was not a fan of ridiculous Judge Judy. So that is someone that they would never consider. To be, have anything to do with the Supreme Court, because she's just ridiculous, And I don't watch her program, but whenever the commercials come on, I'm like, is this bitch still on? Really. I can't believe she's still going, but apparently there are just some dumb people that still watch her programming, and I guess they get a kick out of it, I suppose. But yeah, so those are three judges. One that's going to be a Supreme Court Justice nominee. He's going through his hearings. Two, Ruth Ginsburg. If you tell me she's probably already dead. I mean, just if you ever seen her, you'll know what I'm talking about. And ridiculous Judge Judy Scheinlin, who, like I said, those are three judges that I've been thinking about for the past couple of days, and I figured I'd base some of my rants on these people. And newsflash, Bobby Deniro, is he still wanting to beat up people? That's another thing right there. Robert De Niro, is he still picking fights with the President of the United States? Old Bobby, he's not even 5 feet tall, and he wants to go up against a guy who's over 6 feet and has a longer reach. Newsflash, Bobby, I think the nursing home called. They're wanting you to go back. It's your night to call out the numbers for bingo night at the nursing home. P.S. One more thing: don't forget your teeth. You had left them at the rec room at the nursing home. So Bobby, quit picking fights. Quit picking fights with people who can probably whip your butt. Okay, that Bobby, he is ridiculous. I'm surprised he hasn't come out on any one of these shows and declared he's going to beat somebody up. I think he's just a ridiculous man. He needs to go back to the nursing home and put his teeth back in place. And lastly, I saw going through my publications here. There's a school out in Texas. It's called Incarnate Word College. Apparently, 2 business students enrolled there were smuggling millions of dollars to Mexico on a private plane. So, if you're, I mean, why do you need a degree if you're going to be moving around cash like that, right? So, and I don't know how widespread this is at this college, but that brings a whole new meaning to IWC, which is the Incarnate Word College. It's now, and that can go for that can also be known as in with the cartel. Yeah, because they're obviously smuggling millions of dollars on a private plane to drug cartels from the United States to Mexico. So I think that's first of all, Incarnate Word, I've heard of that college before. It's third-rate education, nothing fancy. You're not gonna get any prestigious students coming out of there. So, and then of course this thing where you have college students, hand in hand working with the drug cartels, money flying over to Mexico. That doesn't make the third-rate college look any better. Okay, so it's unfortunate it had to happen. I think they caught these kids. They had been doing this for a while, but that is weird. That is just to be that age and being a drug runner, or in this case a cash runner for the cartel. I tell you, and it had to come from that one university, Incarnate Word, in with the cartel, IWC. All right, so that's those are some of my rants for this week. I've got some other things I want to talk about, but we'll hold off on that for right now. And still looking outside, it looks really pleasant out there. No one walking the beach right now, and which is okay with me. But it looks really pleasant. I really like it outside right now. I may go out there. But you know what? I do have, once again, friends wanted me to go out and have a few brews with them. after I kill this the my Macallan 15-year-old single malt Scotch. Currently in Sweden right now, Stockholm, it's about what is it, like 2 in the morning? So let's say it's like 4 or 5. It's like 5 in the morning right now in Stockholm. 66 degrees, and in Rome, Italy, right now, it's 71 degrees. About 4 in the morning in Rome, I believe. And in my part of the world, Whitehorse, Canada, 80 degrees. Actually, it feels a little bit cooler, but then again, I'm over here by the water. And of course, in Toronto, my neighbor, it's 73 degrees. Oh wow! So looks to be pretty pleasant in certain places around the world, wouldn't you say? And in Los Angeles, it's 76 degrees. Wow! I got a letter from some of my viewers here, listeners. This is Chastity from St. Cloud, Minnesota. Okay. She writes to me, excuse me, it says, Remy, what is one thing that people are doing currently, but in 10 or 15 years, people will look embarrassed by? What is the one thing people are doing currently, but in 10 or 15 years, people will look embarrassed by? So basically, the caprichos, I guess, the indulgences of the youth will be I guess you're saying that the indulgences of the youth will be the embarrassment or the shame of the old. So caprichos, your indulgences. Well, with that, I think one thing that's very popular right now currently is people getting tattoos. Nowadays, people just don't get tattoos at tattoo parlors. Some people in the hood, they'll have a guy. They know a guy who, has his rig where he's got his stuff to make tattoos. Not that he's the greatest artist in the world, but they'll rent out a hotel room, and he'll get a group of people that want tattoos, and they'll do that tattoos right there, at the Motel 6 or whatever, and they'll get tattoos, on their thighs, on their arms, and stuff like that, or gang signs or whatever they put in there. But it's one thing when a guy gets a tattoo, that can kind of and when a man gets older, well, it just looks like smudge on his skin. But when a woman, gets tattoos, and then nowadays you have these women that, they get the stars on the side of the face or on the chest. They have these, huge tattoos on there, or they'll have the lips on the butt when they tattoo those lips on the lips with lipstick on it, stuff like that. Now, yes, there are. At that moment in time, your skin, the elasticity, it looks great. It looks great at that moment. Give yourself 35, 40 years. If you plan to live that long. And then what's going to happen is that, the canvas that you put that artwork on, it's not looking too good, and especially for a woman. A woman's skin is different from a man, where it's not as thick, and that one canvas that looked oh beautiful when you were 22, 21, all of a sudden, it's seen better days, and what happens is that if you think that some tattoos on older men look kind of smudgy, it even looks worse for a woman. Even if you're trying to retouch the tattoo, the skin is just, the canvas just Pues ya está chicharrón, it's just, it's like Ruth Ginsburg and Judge Judy. Tan chicharrones, the skin is old, and and it's just not looking good. So even if you retouch it up, nah, it's not. So then, what some people will do, they'll go and they'll get those tattoo removals, laser. That makes it even worse. You know why? Because for years people have known you as having tattoos, right? But then once you remove the tattoo, you're no longer that person who had tattoos. Then you become a poser, which is even worse, you know. So the best thing is not to get tattoos. If you're a woman, just don't get tattoos, because when you get older, and you will, they're gonna look really bad. And then if you try to remove them, the people that know you are gonna say she's a poser. She's nothing but a poser because she got rid of her tattoos. So if you do, you're damn you do, damn you don't. Leave them or stay with them. One is for the ridiculousness when you're older, and one for being a poser if you remove them. So the best thing to do is go au naturel. Don't get any, especially if you're a woman. If you're gonna get one, somewhere where it can be seen, like around the ankle, maybe something on the ring finger, something like that. Once you start, putting these huge ass things, it's you're gonna think twice. And I think this is just a passing fad. I think it's kind of like rap music, it's just a passing fad. Rap music, it's really, I think it's had its moments, and it's not as popular as it used to be. And then, I think it is. I think music kind of changes, and I think it's there's another type of developing genre going on that will eventually surpass that. And with this, right now it's this tattoo business, and I think that that'll soon also fade away, and there won't be as many people as there is now getting tattoos. Okay, so that's what I think anyway. That's what they asked me. That's Chastity from St.Cloud. Sandra from Mapleton, Utah. Hey, how's it going there, Sandy? Remy, as I get older and my own mortality is becoming more apparent in my later years, I ask, why do people have to die? Well, the reason people must perish is to control the population here on Earth. No, it's just like anything. You have stars. Like we have a star. It's known as the sun. One day, the sun will give out, and it's gonna no longer exist. And it's gonna be millions upon millions of years when that happens. We won't be around. But in the ever-expanding universe, you have stars that just flame out. They give out. I think they just explode or something like that, and they're no longer there. Stars, it's a dying star, and they die, and they're dead, right? And those are powerful, powerful things in the universe. We're not as powerful as a sun, as a star from another universe, or I'm sorry, from another galaxy. Okay, and so if they give out, we're gonna give out. And my thing is this: is that when a couple of things are gonna happen. Either if you all believe in afterlife, when your soul is stripped from your body, because we are nothing but a corpse with a soul in it. Okay, when that is stripped, the soul is stripped from our body. Is there some type of seamless transition into another realm, or this light that we see, this thing that that is in our point of vision, or as far as in our mind, what we feel, what we sense, this light that draws us as we're being pulled out of our body, going into that. Do we transition somewhere, or do we go into nothingness and that's it? I find it very hard to comprehend not being able to exist, because all I've known is existence. But then I don't know what it was like not to exist before I was born. I don't remember that. Now, is that going to continue? Will that, start up again after I'm gone, and never to, to cease again? And that's, I find that, hard to comprehend. But nevertheless, I think that it's just a natural progression, not just here on this planet, but throughout the galaxy and galaxies in the universe. If stars, which are more powerful than us, like our sun, if they give out, there's no reason, it's only expected that we're going to give out, because we're just have an accumulation of stars, and we're of debris. We're basically space matter. We have a little bit of this, all these molecules. When the Earth was formed, we're part of it. We're stardust, basically, and we shall return to that as well. Will we go from there after that? I don't know. Once we perish, that's an interesting question there, Miss Sandra from Mapleton, Utah. I appreciate that. Melanie from Bismarck, North Dakota. Hi, Melanie. Remy, can you please tell me why Ellen the Degenerate? Okay, you mean Ellen DeGeneres? Okay, but she calls her degenerate. Got a Presidential Freedom Award when there are more people that are more deserving. Okay, well, apparently she got one for TV, because there's certain, they get them for certain things, for public service, or sciences, the arts, but she falls under TV. Now, Ellen DeGeneres, or the way you call her, Degenerate, she has received the Emmy Award 10 times. I think she got it one more than Oprah, I believe, but 10 times. I don't watch her show, just for the fact that I'm at work when her show comes out, and I don't know if I'd see it. It's just too, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. But she got it for TV. Okay. Like I said, I have a job, so I can't spend my days, at home watching TV. Now, if you're retired and you watch this stuff, that's great. But if you're between the ages of 20 and 55 and you're at home watching TV and there's not a damn thing wrong with you, you need to get yourself a damn job. That's what you got to do. Unless you work at night. But now deserving people, other than Ellen DeGenerate, would be Alex Trebek, a Jeopardy host. Now, he's on TV. He's been on there a lot longer than Ellen, right? And he's never gotten a Presidential Freedom Award. Maybe because he's Canadian, but still, they give that award to, they've given that award to people not from the United States. Okay. Pat Sajak, Wheel of Fortune. He's been around for the longest time, longer than Ellen DeGenerate, and he's never won a Presidential Freedom Award. Bob Barker, who used to be the host of The Price is Right, his show won the Emmy Award 19 times. And he's never gotten a Presidential Freedom Award. And maybe, another person I think should be considered for the Presidential Freedom Award, along with Pat Sajak, Alex Trebek, and Bob Barker, would be Ron Jeremy. Wow, why not Ron Jeremy? Yeah, I think he's a personal friend of Stormy Daniels. So that'd be interesting right there for a friend of Stormy Daniels to get the award. But I mean, hey, Ron's been on TV since the early '80s, right? Why can't he? That's part of the arts, right? The arts / TV. So yeah, I think Ron is very deserving, along with Bob Barker. Yeah. So that's but yeah, I understand. But no, she got it for TV, and yeah, it's a shame that others, who've been on TV longer, and the shows are successful, they haven't been able to acquire one of these. But well, it's it's pick and choose, I suppose. Whoever the person giving the award feels that they like them or not. Kind of a popularity thing, like the Oscar. Remember that Oscar award? Yeah. All right. Right now, I want to say a shout out to my buddies, friends at the Stock and Barrel Burgers and Bourbon Restaurant on 35 Market Square in Knoxville, Tennessee. They have the fried house pickles with the buttermilk ranch, or the fried mushrooms with the buttermilk ranch. Also, they have the American burger, the classic bacon burger, the classic steakhouse burger, and yes, they have some great bourbon there, different brands, and yes, they also sell beer. And once again, purchase domestic beer, or Western European beer. Do not purchase cheap Mexican beer. All right. So that's from the Beer Brewers Council of North America and Western Europe. Want me to send that message out there to you. All right. And let me see here. What's going on? Who's on tour? Anyway, I've been watching what's going on tour. And in Miami, Florida right now, it's 81 degrees. Wow. Well, okay, Steve Miller's still on tour. That's pretty good. And let me see. Erasure. Ooh, Erasure. World Be Gone tour. Yeah, they're on tour as well. Erasure. And Tony Bennett's on tour. Let's see here. Scorpions on tour still. And sorry, these guys from Europe. Still plugging away like they're young. Scorpions. I'm a big fan. I've seen them one time. They put on a good show. Yeah. And I would say, and also watch them and Steve Miller. Yeah, really love your peaches. Want to shake your trees. Amy from Hood River, Oregon, asks me, Remy, if God truly existed and revealed himself to us on earth, would people actually accept him? Okay, Amy from Hood River, Oregon. I would say a certain percentage of people would. Well, it just depends, how is he going to appear? I mean, God, sent down his son, which was Jesus, down here, Son of Man, brought him down here, and what happened? Look what happened. Where he was, we crucified him. Wow. God sends down his son, and we crucify him. So, I don't know how God would reveal himself in what way. He sent us his son. We crucify him. What's he gonna do now? I mean, would God send his daughter? And then same results. They crucify her. I think people that just want to believe in something would probably accept whatever God. I mean, I don't know if he were just to come out of nowhere and come up, this huge thing up in the sky, and letting us know that that's him, or would he do it in another subtle way, like sending his daughter as opposed to sending his son, which we crucified. I think some people would. I would say 30% of the people would probably accept him. I would say a certain percentage, maybe like 25-30%, would be skeptical, and the other 40% just wouldn't accept it, wouldn't accept him. And I think as a society, I think we've as it progresses, if that's what you want to call it, with some of the ridiculousness that's going around, but as we progress, we're leaving, God, Christ, out of the equation now, because it seems as though science is catching up to religion, where eventually, we're gonna find something out, but science is catching up to religion. If you don't believe me, ask Copernicus. And see what they did to Copernicus. When he said that the Earth was the middle of the universe, where everything revolved around the Earth, which it didn't. And what did the Catholics do? So, and sometimes, some people, they don't want to accept certain things, but I think religion. I think science is catching up to a lot of what religion puts out, and they're saying, no, look, this is the way it is. Actually, when they come up with their mathematical equations, especially for the Big Bang, which was Hawking came up with that one. But no, you're looking at 40% not accepting them, and like I said, 20%. Was it the 20% being skeptical, another 35-40% accepting them. When it comes to that particular question from Amy, Hood River, Oregon, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And we have Emery from Findlay, Ohio. Hello, Emery. I like that name for a lady. Remy, I want to know, what is the most unusual thing you have seen in someone else's home? What is the most unusual thing you have seen in someone else's home? Well, as far as like unusual, I can't say really. One time I went to this person's home and they had a toilet. Yes, they had a toilet in their living room, but the part of the toilet, the tank, was filled with like dirt and some flowers, and then the toilet itself was filled with dirt with some plants coming out of it. So they brought some of the restroom into the living room and just put some greenery in the tank and in the toilet itself. So that was pretty cool. But one thing that I find that really freaked me out was, and I'm sure some people have these in their homes, I know they do, is there was just, well, first of all, when I tell you this, you cannot tell Michelle. Michelle would kill me. So Michelle, my better half, Michelle, is years before I met Michelle, I was a wanderer. I was just I don't say I was a playboy, but many a night, I'd come home with a sticky wicket. Okay, put it to you that way. And there was this one girl. Her name was Letty, and she was she's like 4 years older than I was. This woman was a brick house. She really was. Very nice. She was a little bit taller than me, but I mean, she was. Anyway, so we're in her room, and put on some candles. The lights were the lights were off, but the candles were on, and getting undressed, intoxicating. The perfume she had on, mixed in with that, I don't know, that flowery scented soap kind of thing going. It's just a mixture. It kind of smelled like what's it? What do you call that? Not Bed Bath and Beyond. Well, I mean, or those places that sell that bed, or is it? Was it Bed and Bath? Bed and Bath? No. Well, it's the name you see it at the malls. These the place that sells all these soaps. Okay. What's it? Bath and Body Works. There we go. Bath and Body Works. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, so she smelled like that as that type of soap, and she had some perfume going on there, and it was just driving me crazy. And the candles, the color of the candles, and the mirror and the drapes, and just it was just a very I don't know, just a you could just imagine a tent, with candles, and just like I don't know, just filled with she had rugs and pillows going all over the place. And then I turned to one side and I'm like, what's that? And she was like, what? That's that over there that looks like it has a chain around it, like a necklace. Oh, that's a vase. I said, really? It doesn't look like a vase. It looks like an urn. Well, yeah, that's what it is. My father's remains are in there. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's one thing that kind of threw me off right there. One of the most unusual things. Like I say, it's not that people don't have urns in their homes. They do. But usually it's like in the living room. If some people have them, in their bedroom, that's fine, I guess. But when, you have a stranger, which is me, and he's about to get it on, or we're about to get it on. I don't know. It's just kind of, let's just say that kind of threw me a little bit right there, because it just seemed like, okay, there's like a third person in here, and he's in that urn over there. So it felt really, I don't know, uncomfortable, but just I don't know. I had to keep glancing over it. Letty was, going up and down on the bed, moaning and groaning, and I'm just looking at the urn, and I'm like, is this okay with with your? I'm thinking to myself, is it okay with this? This man's daughter is, he's probably saying, honey, what are you doing? Daughter of mine, what are you doing? But I didn't, like I said, Letty it didn't faze her a bit. I had to just kind of, like I said, just gotta, not stare over there and just kind of concentrate on what I had with me. And so it was, needless to say, she kind of caught on. I was like, okay, I know it kind of bothers you. I'll put him over here. And I think she moved him to another room the other night, so now I would go over to her place. So that was the one thing that kind of, it's not that it's unusual, but, for me, if I had been clothed, I had no problem. But, there I am unclothed and about to get it on, and I don't know, it just seemed kind of, weird. But that was then. That was a while back. And since then, I think Letty has moved. She's no longer here, but I forgot where she moved. She moved in with her son or something like that. So I wish Letty the best. And whoever is with Letty or married to Letty or dating her, you're going to have a fun time with Letty, I'll tell you that. But remember, y'all can't tell Michelle that what I just said. She'd kill me. She found out if I'd had more fun than I've had than with her. But okay, well, my friends, my cohorts, my equals, the bewitching hour is yet upon us again. To my legion of cohorts, and my time with you has come to a close for this evening. Anyway. And in the solemn words of the one and only Neil Peart, we travel on the road to redemption, a highway out of yesterday that tomorrow will bring truer words never spoken. Also want to give a shout out to some friends of mine, Little Gumpla, who's got his own YouTube. Little Gumpla, I'll say hello to you and I hope you're doing fine. I also want to say a shout out to Mr. Maximum, Sam, who's out there. For all I know, he's probably out drinking some coffee at a Denny's nearby. So Sam, also known as Maximum, I want to say hello to you as well. One of the more premier bass players in his part of the world there anyway. And as always, I just want to let you all know that I'm the only vlog recognized by the North American and Western European Brewers Council. Want my viewers not to be stupid and not to purchase cheap Mexican beer. Purchase only domestic and European brands, and everything will be good in the world. I promise you, if you do that for me. Okay. Well, listen. I want to thank you again. And please like, comment, and subscribe. All right. Until next time, take care. All right.